Hi and Assalamualaikum to our lecturer, Dr. Sabrina binti Karim. My name is Syaida Khadijah binti Rosli. My group member is Farahiyah Sakinah binti Aman, Nurathira Faqihah binti Azmi, and Nurul Ain binti Roshidi. We will present regarding of terms of reference, and I will start first. Okay. So the proposed project is a development of Sustainable Scheduled Waste Treatment Center SSWTC at PT 1682 Bukit Tagar Sanitary Landfill, Mukim Sungai Tinggi, Daerah Hulu Selangor, Selangor Darul Ehsan by Berjaya Alam Murni Sendirian Berhad. And our company is FAAS, Environment and Associates Sendirian Berhad. As I said earlier, the project title is Development of Sustainable Scheduled Waste Treatment Center, SSWTC, and after this, I shall prefer it as a project or SSWTC. So the next is project background. The location is existing in the Bukit Tagar Sanitary Landfill, and the project size is about 40 acres, and detail is the detail is it is for regional hub for treatment, recovery and disposal facilities for scheduled waste of Peninsula Malaysia. Okay, so the project proponent is Berjaya Alam Murni Sendirian Berhad. We can contact person Mr. Ko Chi Yong, the CEO, and then EIA consultant, which is us, FAAS Environment and Associates Sendirian Berhad. So our study team leader is IR Farahiyah Sakinah binti Aman. So this is our EIA study consultant team. Our study team leader is Farahiyah Sakinah binti Aman. And then the study team member is Nurathira Faqihah binti Azmi, Nurul Ain binti Roshidi, and me myself, Syaida Khadijah binti Rosli.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Ain binti Roshidi. I will present the statement needed for the purpose development of Sustainable Scheduled Waste Treatment Center SSWTC. So for the statement needed, it consists of 5 aspects, which are job opportunities, economic development, safe environment, new technology, and also treatment services. For first, job opportunities, the project purpose will offer a lot of job opportunities to the community. Next is academic development. Waste converts to the new resource correlate with the objective of the development of SSWTC. So for the new resource, it can act as raw material for an industry, so that's why it can enhance the economy for the country. Next is safe environment. Usually, some of them will dispose the scheduled waste into the river freely. So by the development of SSWTC, it can reduce the disposal of scheduled waste freely that can harm the environment. Next is new technology. Technology used as an alternative for the scheduled waste treatment. Next is treatment services. Can provide the treatment of scheduled waste systematically with the assist of the new technology.
For the project concept, it is to perceive the shortage of scheduled waste treatment and disposal facilities in Malaysia, and second, to develop the SSWTC to fulfill the gap catering the needs to have such facilities strategically located within the country. Okay, we already know the project. Where is the project? It is inside of Bukit Tagar Sanitary Landfill, and the project size is a 40 acres land tract inside of Bukit Tagar Sanitary Landfill, which occupies a landfill footprint of 700 acres. We also provide the coordinate of latitude and the longitude below there. Okay. Next is construction activities. There are 7 types of facilities. And first is WTE thermal treatment plant. The capacity is 20,000 TPA. So the description is thermal treatment decrease the volume and mass of waste and inert toxic components. At the same time, it is produce thermal and or electrical energy and reduce the release of pollutants to air and water. At present, Bukit Tagar Sanitary Landfill capture and harvest methane gas produced by horizontal wells from the first and second cells. Only some part of the methane gas is collected and converted into energy, while the remaining gas is being fled. Electricity that produced from the site is sold and returned to Tenaga Nasional Berhad, which is a utility corporation in Malaysia, via the feed mechanism. Second is secure landfill. The capacity is 350,000 meter cube of airspace. Okay, this is for the final disposal of stabilized waste. No further use is needed before being permanently buried below the soil surface. And the waste acceptance criteria WEC guideline is the best possible methodology that can determine the waste material characteristic would be can be disposed in a safe landfill or not. Next is storage facility, about 10,000 tons, able to store and safely contain the waste within its boundary and to prevent the leachate from pumping out and polluting the natural area. And it also can prevent waste from dispersing and releasing unwanted odors. Uh, Fifth is solidification facilities. The capacity is about 8,000 TPA. The treatment of contaminated waste for recycling and remediation of polluted land. Next is oil recovery facilities. It's involved of environmental quality schedule waste regulation 2005. For waste oil that do have economic value, waste oil recovery facilities approved by the Department of the Environment can be retrieved. Second last is leachate treatment plant. 150 meter cube per day must comply with the DOE, and it is rapidly collect and channel the leachate produced from the landfill waste layer to the leachate treatment facility. And lastly, surface water treatment plant SWTP. The capacity is 250 meter cube per day. Design disinfection, monitoring vital treatment parameters and reporting records of operation. Okay, this is the project location. You can see that this is the map. So this one too, and it is located about 50 kilometer from Bukit Beruntung and about 50 kilometer from Kuala Lumpur city center. And it can be reached via the North-South Expressway (NSE) exit at Bukit Tagar Toll, exit 119, and for the alternate route is via State Route B33 from Bestari Jaya to State Route 228 Jalan Bukit Tagar. Okay, the project option is 4R cradle to cradle. You can see here, it's going to be waste and then to the resource or raw materials. SSWTC implement the concept of advocating sustainable industrial ecology in line with DOE policies, encourage industry engaging a mutual beneficial symbiosis of, from waste and then making waste into the resource raw materials. This is the implementation of SSWTC. Okay, first is logistic requirement, buffer requirement, land use compatibility, infrastructure needs, development, and socio-economy. So the objective of this site option is to maximize the public acceptability, minimize the health effect towards the worker and the resident near the sanitary landfill, minimize the costs, and also minimize the environmental impact. Okay, the technology option is combustion, gasification, pyrolysis, plasma, and lastly is co-combustion. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Farahiyah Sakinah binti Aman and I will explain about the sampling and current environment condition of the Bukit Tagar Sanitary Landfill, Selangor. So the location is within 5 km radius from the proposed project and sensitive sector located within the ZOI identified and lies and reported within a 5 km radius map. So on the right of the slide is the location of the sensitive sector and its category residential area and public amenities within its distance. And the parameter being studied are water quality index, standard quality air tanah kebangsaan, DT ratio, public health study and Malaysian ambient quality. Estimated use is analysed by other third party laboratory for comparison purposes and continuous sampling and analysis of each waste consignment received will be carried out to verify each waste characteristic. And for the environment current condition is the climate of the Bukit Tagar within 34.8 till 33.1 degrees C. Wind speed with maximum 11 and minimum 5.5 kmph. Rainfall average with 2945.42 mm. And humidity within 75.9 till 77.7%. As for the geological structure of Bukit Tagar, it is characterized by alluvium deposit from the river and the sea and frequented rock formation as mentioned in the slide. And the rock is folded and tends to be 20 till 45 degree with particle size 2 till 0.06 mm and up to 0.004 mm if it's contain mud. And odor quality is measured at all session and classified as natural ET and acceptable where the DT detected is below than 2.0 under slightly noticeable. The study for the hydrogeology study within 5 km radius, it is characterized by unconsolidated deposit which is composed of 4 elements: sand, clay and silt, humic, clay and silt, clay, silt, sand and gravel. Rock types in this formation comprises of low-grade metamorphic rocks such as meta, sandstone, slate and phyllite. As for the river system, Bukit Tagar is within the Sungai Yamuk Basin with area 1529 ha and project site will be platform and surface runoff is channeled to the sedimentation pond located at the southwest of the SSWTC boundary within the BTSL before being discharged into Sungai Yamuk. For the air quality, concentration of both PM and concentration are recorded. It is below than the respective limit. While health of the villagers, asthma is common chronic condition among the children, while hypertension and diabetes are among adults, and no cases of dengue or lung cancer reported, and prevalence of infectious diseases are below than 0.5%. So at the proposed project, it actually has a 500-meter buffer zone surrounding the BTSL site, so it will act as barrier. So if anything happen, it is safe because it has a distance of 500 meter, and from the study, there is no sensitive sector located within 2 km radius from the project. Okay, so as for the water quality, at the downstream area, which is Sungai Hitam, category SSW3, and already received acid pit drainage and also pollutant load. And at Sungai Selangor itself, it usually receive cumulative pollutant loads from the upper Sungai Selangor basin. As for the groundwater, the compliance monitoring for groundwater follow the standard as stipulated for industrial purposes. As for the noise quality, N2 is lower than permissible sound, which is 70 at day and 60 at night, which is the noise level at villages area, while N1 are higher than permissible sound level, which is 65 at day and 45 day at night. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, next I will present the potential significant impact for the development of SSWTC. So first, for the air quality, during the construction phase, the dust can be produced from the vehicles exhaust, which is entering and also existing the sites. For the operation phase of SSWTC, the air quality is lessened due to the release of fly ash, toxic heavy metals, and also dioxin from the stack of the thermal treatment plant. Next, for the noise and vibration, for the construction phase and also operation phase, noise from the passing vehicles entering and also leaving the sites is the impact for the scheduled waste treatment center. Next is for the community health. The effect on community health is new to the project sites because of the poor air quality and noise during construction phase is the impact of the scheduled waste treatment center. Next, during the operation phase, the effect on community health also is one of the impact because of the prolonged exposure to the poor air quality. Next is waste management. For the waste management, solid waste is produced from the construction activities during the construction of the scheduled waste treatment center. While for the operation phase, fly ash which is generated from the treatment plant is also the impact of the development of sustainable scheduled waste treatment center. Next is for the water quality. Surface runoff at the site during the construction phase can transport the construction waste, which can harm the river water. Next, for the wastewater discharge from the leachate treatment plant during the operation phase also is one of the impact because the wastewater discharge can harm the river. This is wastewater quality. For the construction phase of wastewater quality, it has a small impact, while for the operation phase, there is two impact, which is leachate produced from the landfill and also overflow of leachate during the heavy rain, and this is because of the leachate can pollute the river water. Next is the methodologies on the impact assessment. Consists of three aspects, which are health impact, water quality, and also air quality. So for the health impact, health risk assessment (HRA) incorporates the results for the cumulative air dispersion modeling, water modeling, odor, and also fugitive emission for all facilities for the health impact assessment (HIA). Next, for the water quality, the model used for the water quality is Q2K to allocate the waste load and also to analyze the other contamination. And the Q2K framework includes the simulation of the pH and total inorganic carbon and also pathogen for the river water. Next, for air quality, air dispersion model (mode) is used for the air quality to analyze the proposed thermal treatment plant for the air pollution dispersion. So the effect of particulates such as PM10 and also PM2.5 is measured for the air quality. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurathira Faqihah binti Azmi, and I will explain about the mitigation action. Okay, first, for the air quality during the site clearing, for the construction phase, one should frequently service the transport vehicle to restrain exhaust air emission. Then, to ensure the ventilation of the storage of hazardous waste should be maintained. During the operation phase, one should wet down the roadways used to transport the waste to reduce the fugitive dust emission, and provide the workers with appropriate PPE such as masks. For the noise and vibration quality for the construction work, during the construction phase, one should maintain the equipment and the machinery used to avoid any unnecessary noise. And during the operation phase, transportation or any activities will be operated at the daytime only to prevent any nuisance during the night time. For the wastewater quality, for the wastewater management during the construction phase, one should not dispose any kind of oil used for vehicle or machineries on the ground or drain. And during the operation phase, one should design the leachate treatment plant to ensure the effluent release is allowable. Okay, for the health impact during the land clearing, uh, for the construction phase, one should wet down the road to control the dust emission and supply the clean water and has the proper disposal for solid waste. But for the operation phase, it is not applicable. For the waste management, for the disposal of solid waste during the construction phase, it is prohibited to do any open burning of the solid waste and apply the reuse and recycling method to reduce the solid waste. For the water quality, for the discharge of the effluent during the construction phase, one should provide enough drainage system to control the surface runoff, and during the operation phase, the wastewater will be treated so that it will comply with the Environmental Quality Regulation 2009. Okay, now for the residual impact for the air quality during the construction phase, suspension of dust from the exhaust emission from vehicle, and during the operation phase is the air quality going to reduce because of the emission and the hazardous gas. For the health impact during the construction phase, minor impact are expected, and the operation phase health risk to the local communities due to repeated exposure to air contaminants. While for the waste management during the construction phase, construction activities produce solid waste, and for the operation phase, the thermal treatment plant produce residues such as fly ash and bottom ash. For the Uh, during the construction phase, site preparation including clearing the surface vegetation, which is excavation, will create a level ground surface, and during the operation phase, leachate will infiltrate into the surrounding through leakage in the proposed linear system. For the wastewater quality, during the construction phase, no significant impact are expected, while for the operation phase, secure landfill activity will produce leachate. For the water quality, during the construction phase, minor impact are expected, but during the operation phase, leachate produce effluent discharge. Okay, lastly, for the environmental management plan, for the air quality, for the dust, uh, one should monitor any activity that produce high amount of dust emission, especially when there is high wind. Then maintain the access road used for transport, such as damping with water. And lastly, limit the speed of vehicle to 30 km per hour. Then for the water quality, for the increase of sediment load uh, into storm drain, uh, one should remove the construction material that block the drainage pathway, and then remove the debris that enter the drainage by accident. Then avoid construction activities during the heavy rain. Okay, for the waste management, for the construction waste and the scheduled waste, one should segregate all waste according to its type, and use recycle or recover the waste if possible, and then prepare a solid management plan. And lastly, for the noise quality, uh, noise from the machinery, The worker should be provided with exhaust muffler when handling with the engine power equipment. They should practice a good procedure and restrict any activities at night to avoid any nuisance. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.